everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delene, and I have Laura from the Camo Chica and and Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean. I am going to link their channels down below so you guys can watch their videos as well, and also subscribe to their channel and mine if you haven't subscribed yet. And also, next following week, Dee Dee's video will come up on January the 9th.
Yes.
So don't forget to watch her TRES AMIGAS table talk video then. And also, you guys ready? We are going to be talking about our holiday tradition, whether it be movies or games or what you have for the holiday to eat, whatever that may be. So anyways, you guys ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Dee Dee, you go first since Laura went first last time.
Yeah. You're like a teacher. You keep us in line.
Yes, keep us in line. Keeping us in order.
I have to do my notes because we want to make sure, and we didn't have to pick like everything, but I wanted to make notes because I forget.
Yes.
You were asking us about our movies, and that's like a big thing in our family.
Yeah.
Is watching holiday movies, or just watching movies, or having movie marathons, like just kind of all year long. But at Christmas, because everybody's off for school, or the adults will be off for vacation, and that's usually something we would do. And of course, which I guess it normally starts Thanksgiving, right? Day, y'all have to tell me, because we always have to watch the 24 hours of the Christmas Story. Yes, the Christmas Story. Yes, it's like it is not the holiday season. It's not
just
Christmas.
leave it on.
Yes, it is on continuously.
Yeah.
So we have it on all the time. And even if sometimes the kids will want to hear music, like Christmas music behind or whatever, we have it from the morning my husband wakes up till we go to bed at night. It is on continuously. Yes. And so the other two is which I think I'm not sure if the kids have continued on their own, but when we do have the activities at our house, we do the Christmas movie. But the other movies when the kids were little, and these I have been able to continue with my grandkids, is the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, that where he buys the wrong Christmas tree, and then How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And so I've been watching those with my grandchildren, and it's so funny because when I first started watching the Christmas How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the kids were afraid of the Grinch, and they would hide, and they would, Granny, tell me when it's over. And now this past Christmas, they were like, oh, it's the Grinch, and they weren't afraid of it anymore. Yeah. They were still, my granddaughter was still like, it's a little scary, but it was really kind of neat how they've gone through it, and I was like, oh, but I like that. And then the only other like quick tradition that I like to do, and it's kind of fallen away, which has kind of broken my heart. I still do it with the grandkids, but not so much with my kids anymore. But I always bought a Christmas ornament to commemorate the year, something that had to do with the year. Like one year that they bought, like when they started to drive, or when they got their braces off, or when they moved out of the house, or something like that.
The party when they moved out.
The party. Just me crying. But actually, my mom used to do that for me. I don't know if she did that with the boys, but she used to give me and my husband those little bitty miniature ornaments that you can put on there. And I think because everybody at the office used to sell those, remember there were fundraisers and stuff? Oh. So she used to buy those and would give those to us. And then she started buying us just little ornaments, like regular ornaments as well. So I started doing that. And it's kind of fallen away from the kids are kind of like, well, how many ornaments do we need? We have our own family, kind of thing, but so that kind of one breaks my heart, not doing it, but I can do it for the grandkids. But those are like our two big ones that I like
to do.
Yeah.
We also watched the Christmas Story because my husband is a huge Christmas Story fan. So he also turns it on
Does
Thanksgiving,
she
and then I think
try?
again on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
It's a
That's when.
24-hour
Okay.
marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why.
Whenever the marathon is,
That's
it's
when
on.
it's on. Yeah.
Because I think Thursday is more football, or Thanksgiving is more football.
Yeah.
But we have a Christmas Story Village, Peanuts Village. So every year I decide, okay, what do you want? What's your theme? And then that's what I'll do to decorate the house and stuff like that. So like this year, no Peanuts, no Christmas Story. It's my frou-frou decor. It's my frou-frou decor.
Lots of
Yes, and I have my
beautiful
coastal and my
Beautiful,
coastal tree.
beautiful,
This year's my coastal tree
It's
theme.
beautiful.
Thank you. As far as like our Christmas traditions, I always celebrated on Christmas Eve, and then David always celebrated on Christmas Day. So it actually worked out really good for us because then we would spend Christmas evening at my aunt's house because she would always have fun and games or whatever and stuff like that, and then we would exchange gifts. And then Christmas Day we would go over to his parents' house. So now we pretty much are the ones that host. So his siblings come over here. And then my favorite Christmas memory when we were kids growing up was I have 4 girl cousins and we're all in the same similar age, within the same age group, I should say. And so I just remember one year, because my grandmother lived in Del Rio, and we went one year, and for Christmas, we all got bikes. So our parents blindfolded us, and then they walked us outside because they're like, okay, your gifts are going to be outside. So they walked us outside and it was cold. And so we were all blindfolded, and then they took the blindfolds off. And so we all had bikes.
Wow.
And my grandmother lived in a cul-de-sac. And so we were just, going crazy riding bikes. And they didn't plan it. That was the funny thing was that
really?
my dad and his brother did not plan it. They just happened
just
to be,
happened.
it just happened that
wow.
they were giving bikes to the girls. And it was just perfect. It worked out perfect. So that's like been the most memorable Christmas ever, like with my family and stuff. And as far as Christmas movies, for me, I love Hallmark, so we constantly watch Hallmark.
Yeah,
like,
we do that.
if not
too.
every day, then every Saturday, right?
It's every day for us.
Yes. So we watch a lot of Hallmark, and my favorite Hallmark movies are the December Bride. I love that one. I can watch that one. December Bride. That one's really, really good. The actress, I can't remember her name. She's actually a singer because a lot of the actors and actresses are Canadian. But she's having to decorate a house. So she's like a home interior kind of a decorator. But I love that movie. And then I think it's the 9 Lives of Christmas. Kimberly Sutton, I think that's her name. She's the actress. I love her.
The one where the cats
The cat's lost.
yes.
Ambrose.
Ambrose, yes. That's my husband's favorite. Yes.
I love that
the
one.
first one, not the second one.
The second one was cute, but I'm
Yeah,
waiting for a third. I'm waiting for like a third, like now they're married, right? And then she's opened up her little vet practice because she's a vet. But the first one is cute. The first one is super, super cute. And then back in the day, like about maybe 15 years ago, I don't know if it was Lifetime. I can't remember which TV channel they always ran it on. But Mimi Rogers came out in a Christmas movie called A Christmas List. And that one was my favorite. And she was called the Nose because she worked at a department store. And she would ask you like, okay, what's your favorite color? Who's your favorite, band? She would ask you specific questions, and based on what she asked you, she knew exactly what fragrance was perfect for you or the person that you were shopping for, right? And they used to run it all the time, like back then. And now I hardly ever see it, but I think you can watch it on YouTube because I've watched it like last year, so I'll give you the link so you can post it. But it was a really, really cute movie. Of course, she finds love and stuff like that, but it was a really, really fun little Christmas movie. So those are my favorites for the holiday season.
Well, so we would also watch The Christmas Story all day as well. But back then, when I was married to my first husband, my parents lived in Dallas, and they would always make their turkey over there, and they would drive all the way in. And then my ex-husband and my brothers, we'd go in the front yard, and this is what we'd always do. We would play stickball. And we would play that every time. That was one of my favorite things to do because I felt like, my brothers, they live far. They all live in Dallas. It's like 5-6 hours away, depending. Yeah. So we did that. And if not that, we would go and play basketball. Not that I was good at it. It's just us family getting together to do that. And my ex-husband as well. Now that I'm not married to my ex-husband and my mom's not around anymore, I still watch The Christmas Story. And also let me bring this up. My mom So when we lived in Okinawa, we didn't really do Thanksgiving, but when we moved to the US, we finally started doing it. And when my mom made turkey, her stuffing was, I hate to say this, it was always horrible, okay? Because she wasn't used to making things like that. So she would cut up all the giblets and cut it up, and it would be in chunks, and it would be in the stuffing. And I never thought that it wasn't that good because I never knew what other people's tasted like. But my ex-husband would be like, oh my God, what are those chunks? I was like, I don't know. It's just something I've always eaten. And with the turkey, we always had white Japanese rice.
Okay.
So that's what we always had. And I still kind of made that even after my mom passed. I always had white rice. And then as time went on, it kind of started, going away, the white rice. I eat it every day anyways, practically. But we would, so we still watch The Christmas Story now that I'm married to my ex-husband. And
what do we mean now?
You're married to your ex.
Okay, let me say that.
I did not put liquor in this hot chocolate.
No shotskis today.
So, hello. So I have two favorite movies that I can think of that I actually really, really liked watching. And tell me if you guys have watched this. It's called Holiday. It has Jack Black, Cameron Diaz.
Yes. Where they switch
Jude
houses.
Law, oh my goodness.
That's
and Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I can't even remember how many times I've seen it. It's just such a good home type of movie, and everything about it I love. It's romantic, it's funny. I mean, I love it. And then another movie that I really like is this one's horrible. It's Bad Santa. Have you guys ever seen Bad Santa?
With the one that was married to Angelina Jolie, right?
With Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny. I love it, and my husband and my current husband and I, we would sit down and we would just watch that movie, and it's just, I don't know, I like it. It's a good movie. So we've watched that a few times so far, over the years. So that's one of the things that we do watch. And let me think, what else do we do? We watch football.
Yeah.
We watch football, just like
Yes.
So,
do you bake your turkey?
you know what?
Who cooks?
Oh, okay. So I usually cook.
Okay.
But listen to this. Since I became single after I got a divorce from my first husband, I was getting free turkey meals from this guy that used to be my customer. I used to sell food to him. I used to be like Cisco.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was called Martin Preferred Food Service, and he worked for Grady's, and Grady's Barbecue. And he would always give me my turkeys when I was when I was single and I had my kids. And I never really had to bake. This is after my mom passed away. And then after that, after I married my husband, then I would start buying my turkeys at Bill Miller's.
Yeah.
And they actually have amazing stuffing. Their turkey's great. Their gravy's amazing. So I would buy that, and then their mashed potato, and then I would make the rest, whatever that is. One of my tradition is I have to make yams. That's one of my favorites, and I've been making that for years, and that's one of my traditional dishes. So just to let you guys know.
Do you make it the turkey?
Well, I didn't say too much about traditions and things that we do because we're in an awkward position right now. So, but I guess this is probably a good time because, holidays are always great and we look forward to them, but they're also hard for some people and they're also hard for some families. And our families, like in a transition period, I've talked about too about us being empty nesters and how everybody has moved on and moved on and have their own house, have their own families, and wanting to start their own traditions. So things are really hard and up in the air, and we never know from one time to another. And that's why sometimes we escape during the holidays because it's easier that we make our go on cruises, and we just say, okay, let's not make stress, So it is. It's really hard. It's really hard. So we did when the kids were young,
Mhm.
and both of our parents were still alive, we would do like y'all did, Christmas Eve, and it just worked out that way. My family was a Hispanic family, and we did Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
and we would go to church. Most of the years, we would go to church. We would do the early church. We would go to midnight mass at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Midnight mass at 6 o'clock, and then we would come home. You have your whole thing with my mom, her family, all of them, and everything, And then as they started growing up, and them, they're no longer doing things together. Then us kids started getting older and having families. I was the first one to like really get married, and my husband's Anglo white. He's white, and so he's a weddle. He's a weddle. So his family did everything on the day, on Christmas Day. So it worked out perfect for us. It worked out perfect because we didn't have to conflict or anything. As my brother got married and my other brother got married, we still kind of held to that. But it was harder, but we were all willing to communicate and try to do things together. I mean, like try to coordinate.
Yes.
Now that our kids have grown up, it's a little bit harder, and it's been really hard trying to find those things. So we have done things like where we have cooked, like I used to cook the turkey, and then my husband used to fry the turkey sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I would roast it.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
fry it.
Yeah.
I think this year my son has kind of taken over that now, and done the turkey, roasted that, and we're trying to find what recipes everybody likes and agrees on and stuff. So I love the holidays. Y'all know I love all the holidays. I love all the seasons, but it is a difficult thing. So if it's difficult for y'all too, no, you're not alone.
Yeah.
No, you're not alone.
Yeah. We also like to fry. I like to fry the turkey as well. And once you go fried, like
you don't
want
yes,
to go back to base.
I don't. I would.
And it's
I would.
juicier.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
never dry.
Yes.
It's
I
just-
would do fried so much.
Yes.
It's just so
Yes.
much better.
Yes.
And we ended up buying like an air fryer.
Yes, my
turkey
husband.
fryer.
Yes, my husband
We
has
ended up getting one.
one.
It's like
It's
an air
delicious,
fryer
yes,
to
and
fry
it's-
the turkey, so you
it's-
don't have to use all the oil.
Yes, it's just as good.
And it's
too,
just
yeah.
as good, and it's a lot easier. Because what would tick me off was because we always fry the turkeys, and we'd go to my in-laws, and so we'd be like, okay, we're gonna fry a turkey. Estos fregados would freaking come this fregados would come with like a stinking 20-pound turkey, 25-pound turkey. You can't fry a
cannot.
bird
It has
that
to be
big.
a certain size.
It
Yeah.
has to be like no bigger than 14 pounds.
Yeah.
And so we would take the little bird, and they would not get. We would tell them, and they wouldn't listen.
Yeah, or buy two smaller ones. Yeah, because that's
Well,
what
they
we
would
used
each
to
We're gonna
do.
buy 3 this year.
Yeah.
Well, they would each come, and so here we were all day frying outside because then they couldn't be inside watching the game or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they would each take turns. Well, then that stinking 27-pound turkey would take like an hour and a half or
And then
whatever.
it boil
So I had
over.
to then buy. So then I had the fryer going. I told David, I was like, okay, I'm buying the air fryer one. So we would have 2 going at the same time to kind of reduce it because they would not get it.
Yeah.
To where bring me a small bird.
Yeah.
And now it's fine because now it's just us, and this is what it is. We're not bringing any more birds. We're frying the turkey, and that's it. Because now it's our house and it's my rule. It's my house and it's my rule.
That's
This is
the
one
best
bird.
thing about having it at your house is it's your rule.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what you could bring. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna have. So what do you want to bring? Okay, yes, you can bring that.
Yeah.
But I usually have Thanksgiving at my house. But this is the first year that I'm not going to be. No, this is actually my second year that I'm not cooking. But we're going to celebrate it this time at my oldest daughter's house, who just had the baby.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited with that. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do much. Well, I do. I'm going to have to help my daughter, but it's not at my house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to.
You
get
have
the
to
house
clean
ready,
up, clean up.
Well, I just had
Clean
to
up
clean
before,
it.
clean up during, clean up
Come
after.
today. They came today. So my house will be clean. So when my brothers come, it's going to be all clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. No, but yes, fried turkeys are the way to go.
Yes. Fried turkeys all the way.
Fried turkey, nice and juicy.
Nice and
You
juicy.
will
Yes.
not see a dry spot unless
no.
you way overcook it. I don't even
Yeah.
know if it's dry even when you. I think it just dissolves the meat if you overcook it.
What happened last year was my husband, I think because it was like windy or something for Thanksgiving,
yeah.
and it was just going to be the two of us and my parents were going to come over later, and he was frying it outside in the patio, and this one thought, oh, because it's breezy, it's going to it's not going to cook it right. So somehow he ended up like covering it because he lost the cover to it or whatever. And so I'm showering, I got out, and then he comes in and he's like, his face has like sunk. And I was like, what's the matter? He was like, I burned the bird. He's like, he's black. He's charred. He's like, I just ruined Thanksgiving. I burned it. And I'm like, what did you do? Right? Because he's just like devastated, thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go down the street, Chinese, like right? And so
We've done that one year. We've gone to eat Chinese,
because sometimes you want something different. It doesn't always have to be the bird, right? And so then he said, oh, let me just see. And I said, are you sure it's like burn bird? Because when I went to go look at it, it was like black. It was black.
What about when you peel it?
And so then he was like, he says, just finish getting ready. So then I got ready, came out, and he was like, okay, it's edible. He goes, it's just the outside. It was like charcoal. It looked like charcoal.
Yes,
but once he took the skin off,
inside,
it was fine. It was still fine.
Because I was saying, because even when you use the oil, the peanut oil,
it does get a little brown. Like it
but the skin will. But once you pull the
cuts.
skin away, then
It's
the meat,
amazing. It is.
Yeah, because I sprinkle like the Cajun seasoning on the outside, and so it does make it look like it burnt. And then the skin is nice and like
I like this
the
crispy.
And do you inject yours? Okay, I think
brine
that's one
it.
of the reasons why
We brine it and inject it.
It stays so
Moist.
moist because anytime you inject something with any type of saline, which it is saline, it stays moist.
I don't know if my husband injects it or not. He may. I actually don't know.
There's some you can already buy that's injected.
No, I know he does all the seasonings, but I don't know if he injects it.
I've even injected a turkey that I'm baking, and it's still not the same. Like it's
No.
still
Okay,
it's
so
still
it's
a little
not the
moist,
injection.
but it's just especially if you're using that peanut oil. That peanut oil just helps on the outside crisp it, and it just keeps the inside super juicy. But so now the preferred method is just like air frying it or in the turkey fryer. But that little air fryer is perfect.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so much
You
easy.
need to get an
Less
air
cleanup.
fryer.
Because
Yes,
then you don't have
less
to dip
cleanup,
all that oil and all that mess. Because then it was just like having to
And it
fry
tastes
that.
a lot like when you fry it.
It tastes just like
Just
you fried.
like
when you
Just
air
like
fried
fried.
it too?
Yes. Yeah.
I think we got it at like
Academy. Yeah.
What, the air fryer?
Yes.
the
So
turkey
it's
air fryer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a turkey
But
air
you
fryer.
can make other things in there, right?
Yeah, you could.
We've done chicken. We've like a whole chicken. We've done whole chickens
You
before.
could drop like a
My
chicken breast because it's
husband
like a
about
basket
that.
or something like that.
Because he has
Genius.
to actually fry 3 on Saturday, and he's like, Dylan, it's going to take forever to do 3. And I'm like, because he gets off work and he drives in from Austin.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to start cooking, and he's like, I don't know if there'll be enough time to make 3. I said, well, we can always just cook 2 if we have to. So,
It's easy. It's super easy. That little air fryer. Turkey air fryer. Way to go.
okay. I'll have to bring that up to my hubby.
It's like a
Good
no-brainer.
idea.
There you go.
Yep, definitely. So anything else, you guys? Any other tradition or anything that you do?
I remember the first time funny story, the first time I fried a turkey, the lady that I worked with, she would do it all the time, and they would fry like 2 or 3 or something like that because they had a big family. So I go to my grandmother's house and I'm traveling, mind you, with the propane tank because I had a Jeep at the time. And I have everything loaded because I'm going out of town. And so I come and I set everything up. And my grandmother is freaking out. Like, what are you doing? Because I'm making the bird, right, for everybody. And she was like, oh my God, it's going to be so greasy because she's thinking of fried chicken. And she was like, va a estar bien grasoso. This turkey is going to be so greasy. And she was just like having a panic attack. And I'm like, no, it's nice and juicy because I had already done one before.
See, I thought that it was going to be like that when we first fried our turkey. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be so greasy. I'm going to be sick.
Yeah.
But
No, you're not, because it's just the outside that cooks right. And so I remember heating it up, and then because you can't put too much oil, that's the thing with using the oil, because then once you drop the bird, right,
the oil rises,
and the oil was spilling out. And so here she is bringing me all these containers so I could take the oil out. And she brings me this container.
Plastic.
She brings me Tupperware, and I'm like, Abuelita, this is Tupperware. No, I'm like, this is plastic. It's gonna melt. No, es Tupperware. Es Tupperware. Nada va a pasar. Nothing is gonna happen to her. I'm like, but this is plastic, right? And she's like, no, just use it. I'm like, okay. So I started to pour some of the grease out, and mind you, I had a couple containers, and I finally got it to where I could drop the bird in fine, and then I was slowly adding in some, but I had set I had set the Tupperware on like a table, and I'm watching the bird, and all of a sudden you're, and I punctured a hole, right? Because it melted it, like all the wax of the thing. And so then she was like, "Ay, mi Tupperware," and I was like, "I told you," but it ended up melting. It ended up like, it was almost like Wicked, right? Oh, I'm melting or whatever. Yeah. And so, or like the Wizard of Oz. And so the Tupperware container ended up like melting. And so she had like a big glob of like the plastic or whatever the rubber is, whatever they're contained of. So it just like shrunk inside, but she was still using it. So when I would go back, she would put caldo in it, menudo or whatever. She's like, it's still usable. It's a deformed Tupperware container.
Well, we talked funny stories. It's like, okay, my mom cooked everything. She also worked. She worked, a full-time job. There was 3 of us. My dad was a traveling salesman, so it's like a lot of the stuff was on her all the time, just her having to do everything. And so she would always cook. So the first time that I had Thanksgiving at my husband's house when we were dating, and his dad was cooking, because his dad was the cook, not his mom. His dad did everything, and he would cook. And so I said, "Oh my goodness!" We were eating. I said, "These are the best mashed potatoes." And like everybody's talking about all the other stuff, I'm going, "These are the best mashed potatoes." Oh my God! This is the best mashed potatoes? And they're like, okay. And I was like, which ones do you use? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, which potatoes? So then he's like, oh, well, just the brown ones, and he's telling me the names of the potatoes. And I was like, I've never seen that brand before, right? And then he's like, what do you mean the brand? I was like, well, what does it look like? And he goes, like a bag of potatoes, And then I was like, no, like the box. What color is the box? And he goes, the box? And I was like, yeah, what box do you use for potatoes? He goes, I don't make no box. There's no potatoes that come out of a box. I go, well, that's what my mom does. My mom makes potatoes with the box, because that was what she did.
Yeah, she, dehydrated.
To make it quick. She had to cook for everybody. And I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah.
That is funny.
So I never knew that you made homemade fresh potatoes out of potatoes. Out of real potatoes.
Yes.
Never knew that.
And just to let you know, Bill Miller's potato
is it really?
And you can tweak it. You can go ahead and put more pepper, whatever you want to do in their gravies. But their stuffing is one of my favorites. But I didn't order that because my daughter's husband or his mom's buying or making it. So.
Well, that's the dressing that I use when we cook all the time. I don't cook the dressing. My mom used to, and then my brother took on that tradition. But he always has to work. Yeah. But I used to work at Bill Miller's all the time, like since the age I was 14, 15. Right. Yeah. So I was a turkey talker, and you had to be, you had to be very, very trusted and trustworthy to be a turkey talker and to work on Thanksgiving Day.
You mean they sold turkeys back then when you were 14?
Yeah. You sound like my children back in the day, my grandchildren.
Age.
Yes. They had you had the turkeys, the whole meals, and you had the desserts and everything, and then you picked it up. And back then, and I don't know if they still do it now, but back then you could pick it up on Thanksgiving Day in the morning before like 11 o'clock. So
when I was in high school, I tried to apply at Bill Miller's, and me and this one druggy kid applied, and he got the job.
Not you.
And not me. I was like, I remember looking at him going, what?
You got the job?
Come to find out, when he was riding on the bus and I was talking to him, he would tell me that his boss was doing drugs with him. So he knew, I guess. Yeah. that they would smoke pot, and I don't know what else they did. But
that's not the Bill Millers I used to work for.
Not
No,
the same. Don't worry.
no, that's not the same.
Yeah.
I was hired on the spot by Mr. Martinez. He hired me on the spot. But I did lie, y'all. I was 14 and you had to be 15. But I lied and said I was 15. And back then you could forge your birth certificates and stuff, you know.
Really?
So I kind of did that, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Liquid paper, I don't know. But you know, supposedly, allegedly.
Everything's
Allegedly.
so. Anyways, you guys.
This was a fun topic.
So yeah, this was a fun topic, and this video was not as long. We're trying to cut it down a little bit. So hope you guys enjoyed it and watched it all the way to the end.
Yes.
So anyways, you guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because as a content creator, it is very important for us to grow. And don't forget to click on that bell for notification and give us a thumbs up. And comment, please, because that's very important for our channel as well. So anyways, you guys, this is Laura, this is Dee Dee. Like I said, I'll go ahead and link their videos down below, or a video, so you guys can subscribe and see their channel. So you guys have a wonderful day, and God bless you.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.